Welcome to Snowmobile Sessions Live on YouTube and your favorite podcast platforms. We're the #1 destination to learn about snowmobiling, network with other sledders, and have an awesome time doing it. We'll meet other snowmobilers that share your passions and show your fan photos along the way. Snowmobile Sessions Live. Enjoy the ride.
It's a journey for life and I'm your ride. Hang on.
All right, everybody out there, the Brat Pack and the Brat Gang. Hope you're all having a good week, and thank you for joining us once again for Snowmobile Sessions. How was your week, Bobby?
Not too bad. Getting a little cooler here, so getting excited about that, and seeing a lot of people picking their sleds up, so excited to get mine soon.
Yeah, do you have a date yet?
No, not yet, but the last of the September sleds are all delivered. He told me the October deliveries are starting, so hopefully mine will be on a truck.
I really didn't think Ski Rule would actually have that big of a problem with delivering an old sled, 1970.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Or did you get the Mastercraft or the Sears model?
You know, I was thinking with the topic on today's video, I don't know a lot about older sleds, so you're throwing names at me. I'm like, I got no idea.
Oh, yes. And that's a good point. Bobby just said that today we have, actually, it's kind of a PSA, a public service announcement as well. Just to fill everybody in, Cochrane is like the mecca of snowmobiling in Ontario. And if you want to go anywhere where they're guaranteed deep snow and fast trails, you make the trip to Cochrane, and it's, 5 hours from Toronto, Rich?
Yeah, about that. Maybe a little bit more. Yeah, about that.
Yeah, it's 5 or 6 hours. And they in Cochrane, there's actually a Vintage Snomwobile Musuem, and there's a polar bear habitat with this museum. And I've got photos to share with everybody, and the issue is the town is taking over the building that they're in. So the Snowmobile Museum, I'll let Dan Girard, fill in the details on it. But the gist of it is that the town's taking over this building, and they want to keep the polar bears but throw the Snowmobile Museum out. And the sad thing is that snowmobilers go there to see sleds, and then they interact with the polar bears. So without the snowmobilers, I don't think the polar bears can exist, and vice versa, So it's become, snowmobiling is driving that tourism module, but they're in a hard place right now. So I reached out to him to say, you know what, if you need some exposure, this might be a good avenue to discuss it. So he's going to come in at 7:30. Good. I talked to him this week, and he's a fun cat. So yeah, and I've got some photos if he doesn't have any to show, and I think he's going to try and do it from the museum. So he could be in a treat for a tour or two.
Nice.
Yeah. And how was your week, Rich?
Pretty good. I can't complain, but you know what? Just like Bobby was saying, we're getting close to some, snowmobiling, starting to see snowmobiles getting delivered. I saw today on the Matrix platform on Facebook that the 650 Matrixes are starting to arrive. Yep. So that's good. Nice. The assaults. So I'm hoping to get the call soon.
Yeah, nice. Now, do you don't have a physical date, but a guarantee, right? On yours?
Polaris. So the deal I got was the don't pay until the spring on the portion that I owe from trading in my 2020. And part of that was you're guaranteed that it ships from Polaris by December 1st. So as long as it leaves Polaris by December 1st, and if it doesn't, then you get a $500 coupon. So which will be pretty good. So, yeah, but we're not normally riding until probably the end of December. Anyways, mind you, last year though, that one video I made, that was mid-November. I did that little rip up in Port Perry. So trails aren't open, but like you said, you go roosting in some cornfields or whatever, where you have permission, of course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. We have that actual farmer that we use. When we were kids, he let us run an ATV, a 3-wheeler, through the cornfield. And I'm talking, this is 100 acres, so it's a mile. Nice. And we flattened out a spot so the corn would grow up, and I go from my buddy's house to my place and back, and it was like Star Wars, because the corn would get really high. It was cool. Yeah. So I pop in and see him whenever he's out farming and stuff and shoot the shit with him, and
Awesome.
he's really good. So yeah.
That's
So
good. Yeah, I hit the Royal sale, so I got a couple of things there. That deal is good. If anyone in Ontario, man, 30%, you can't beat it. So if you need any clothing or accessories, it included everything: my pants, my bibs, my coat, and I got a super clamp for my trailer. So and Fitch fuel system to go in, and it was all covered on it. Like everything was covered with the 30% off. So what happens is you get a 30% gift card. So whatever your total value spent, they give you a 30% gift card, which worked out pretty damn good for me. So I'm happy about that. So
that's awesome.
And I think just before the show started too, I got an email saying that they're extending it. So if anyone in Ontario, man, get out to a Royal or whatever. And I'm not trying to.
Not sponsored by Royal.
Not sponsored. Nope.
But not sponsored.
But if you want to
Royal,
save money on parts.
But if Royal did want to sponsor us, we could talk.
Of course, right?
So if you do go to Royal, make sure you tell them that you've seen it on Snowmobile Sessions on YouTube, Revrider550 or Mudbrats or Rich Outdoors, and tell them that they should really get on board with us. It might be a good thing. So,
absolutely,
but
sure.
no, it's and they had a tent there, right? Was there much clothing in the tent? Like, that was one thing I seen on Facebook, is people asking, "Is there tents this year or not?" Or
so I showed up at the Whippy location, and I went on the Friday that it started, and I got there at about 10. So it opened up at 9:30 or 9 thereabouts, and there was nobody in the store. And they had a tent set up, but it was more set up for a line of people, to go through. But there was no one there. I literally walked in. Went in and I walked right over to the climb area because I wanted to look at climb stuff this year, and I had a sales girl help me out right away, and so it was great. And then I went over and grabbed the super clamp and then my Fitch fuel system. Then I went upstairs and grabbed a t-shirt and a hoodie, and then I got the heck out of there before I spent too much.
That's right. Mark has a question there for you on screen there.
Oh yeah, I see that, Mark. So I got the 850. I stuck with the 850. I had an 850 last year, which was the same motor, but that was in the Axis style, and now it's obviously in the Matrix. So I'm looking forward to that. So the motor's good, and Bobby and I were talking about that before we came on. They did a lot of tweaks to it over the past. Well, Bobby, your first one, correct me if I'm wrong. No, not your first one. Your one you have now. Mm-hmm. You had fouling plugs too, right? Because we were talking about the oil thing. Like mine was running way too rich. And they
I've never fouled a plug. I replaced my plugs at the beginning of last season just to have a new set after it sat all summer. But I'm on the original 2019 tune. I've never fouled a plug. I've never had a bog. Cheers. And it's funny because you see people like when the 2020 tune came out, I'm like, oh, I should go get it. Maybe it'll be a little faster. It'll run better. But then people had the oil issue, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to stick with my tune because it runs really well. Yeah. So it's interesting how it kind of goes back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. And the thing is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like
that's what I was just going to say.
Yep.
And it's funny because, like I said, my buddy Steve had the 850 XCR, and he never got any of the detonation issues. Like we would hit an open road and whatever, and I would crank on it, and I'd get the detonation code come up saying one of the cylinders was close to that. And now that was another part of the software update apparently too. So, but Steve, I don't think if Steve's in the room or not, I don't think he ever had an issue. I did numerous times.
Did you put it in? Did you put it in 91 like non-ethanol mode? You did.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So that was another issue for it too. So, but anyways, cool. Like I said, I had good issues. Like it was amazing. It was great on fuel. Like I said, it used a little bit more oil than I wanted to, but you know what? Again, one of those things. Rather it burn a little bit richer than melting down. But I don't think there was too many failures on that. I mean, the first year there was some, but I think what was it? 1%, less than 1%.
Yeah, that's what they say.
And you're going to get that with new motors, man. Like I don't care who comes out with a new motor. You're literally the test guinea pig, man. And then they're like, okay, we got to go back. Like you look at the first time the 850 came out over the last 3 years, they've done a ton of changes to the cranks, to the journals, like to the everything in it. Like so, they're perfecting it along the way. And they always say, usually every manufacturer by the third year has everything dialed in. So, so fingers crossed. I'm hoping that it'll work out and things will be fine. So I'm hoping everything will be dialed in and we get lots of snow and we get out riding. Right, Gary?
We're going to get lots of snow, right?
Oh, I saw another thing today showing, I wish I kept it. and it showed the polar vortex coming right down, and it covered most of Canada out to the East Coast towards you guys, Bobby. So you guys will be good too.
I'll take
and
it.
It was purple, boys. Like, I mean, and purple's like you could hang meat. It's cool.
You can hang meat.
So
No, the problem is that El Nino is probably going to come in January and ruin the party. But hey, listen, let's. I see Dan in the waiting room here, but let's go through some user submissions. I mentioned last week that it makes my day when I see an email from you guys. And like I said, it doesn't matter if you're coming over from Rev's channel or Mudbrats or Rich Outdoors. I just love seeing the bold on the Mudbrats fan mail email, and it is my favorite part of the night. So keep them coming, guys. I really love it. And we'll just go through a few here. I'm going to pop this up on screen now, and we'll go through. So this is from Bruce Stewart, and he's actually in the room in the chat room right now. And he says, Gary, my name is Bruce. Been riding for quite some time. I ride out of a little town just west of Albany, New York, but mostly trailer to Salisbury, New York, and leave out of the Ridge Runner Club, of which I'm a member. I also ride Spectacular, Indian Lake, Tug Hill, and Old Forge a lot. I put on roughly 2,000 miles a year. Over the years, I've had a few sleds, from a 1994 XCR 600 being my first, to now owning a 2020 MXZ XRS 850. He loves the show and loves riding. Brought here by Revrider550's channel. Thought you might like some pictures of a snowmobile trip a bunch of guys and I do every year in Aroostook County, Maine. A couple of pictures from a few rides last year during the trip. Enjoy and thank you. So yeah, this is his MXZ XRS. Beautiful.
Nice looking sled.
Yeah.
I think skidoos have to be yellow, you know?
Yeah, it's synonymous. It's like Cat's green, right? And Yamaha blue. Like last year, Yamaha went to a black SRX. It's like, if I was buying again, it's just my preference. I'm not saying a lot of people like the black, but certain colors. Yellow is synonymous with Skidoo, green is Arctic Cat, and blue is Yamaha all the way through and through.
Oh yeah, the blue, the blue SRX is like, it's a collector edition, man.
That's
do you recognize any of this?
Right?
Do you recognize any of this territory, Bobby?
I don't, unfortunately. Yeah, it's not sticking out. That was awesome. I can tell you that.
Oh, wow.
That's life behind bars, if I've ever seen it. Right? He's got a shot of the handlebar pad on the XRS and right down a power line. I love the red bars, and the accents on the seat, and then his spindles were red. That is a sweet color. That is sweet. I love that. There we go. Nice. Yeah, there it is again, sitting up pretty. Look at buried her. Yeah,
that looks like some Tug Hill action right there.
Is that right? Look at how deep that one sled's in right here. He's buried. Two sleds buried. This is there. Actually, this might be Jonathan. So Jonathan P, he said, Gary, I wanted to let you guys know I'm loving the content each week. It's awesome you guys have been able to join the show. I'm holding out for Chris Brandt in the near future. Well, send him an email and tell him to get on here. Oh. And then he says, here's a few photos from Tug Hill, New York, which is Rev Rider's neck of the woods. Lake effect storm in late February that dropped 4 feet plus of snow in some areas, which the assaults handled fantastic. Thanks for letting me share a couple of photos with you guys. Cheers. So that, look at that. He's just blasting. Oh,
yeah. Gotta love that when the snow comes up over the hood like that, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love, that's where I've got this farmer's field that gets 4 foot deep snow drifts, and I get a lot of shots like that. It's awesome. Love it.
Nice. That's a nice shot to do there.
Isn't that? I like the light here. So this is Justin B. He said, here's just a few of many pictures of my fiance. Sorry, I'm dyslexia. It's a bitch. Here, Justin B says, here are just a few of many pictures of my fiance and I snowmobiling from the cabin in northern Wisconsin and the Upper Peninsula. I've been snowmobiling since 1996. See some pictures. And I've been hooked ever since, from taking off work Fridays and using accumulated vacation time and then making it on the news. That's right. I average about 2,400 miles a season consistently now, with my wife, averaging about 1,800 a year. That's decent. We both love the sport. We both own 2018 Yamaha Vipers. I've got the itch for a Sidewinder or a Polaris Indy XC850 with the 137-inch track. Plus, I'll be due for an upgrade after 8,000 kilometers on my Viper in 3 seasons. Oops, he says. That's not an oops. Be proud of that. There we go. Look at that shot. It's a Viper sitting on the lake.
Oh, that's
sun
a nice
going
shot.
up. That's
nice
probably, 4 p.m. The sun setting. There's him and his fiance.
Nice.
Very nice.
That's awesome. Oh, look at the snow there. Doesn't that? He's got the rear end shot of the sled, and it's just caked with snow dust. Like,
That's awesome.
those are the days, isn't it? So, I love bridges. He's got a shot of the actual Yamaha, the Viper, sitting right on the bridge. Looks like
Nice
it's
shot.
fairly high up too. And then here they are at the hotel, little cabin. You recognize any of that, Bobby?
Where is that at?
He says he does a lot of your neck of the woods in the upper northern Wisconsin and the up. I guess that's too far from you, right?
No, yeah, that's a ways from me. Yeah.
These are good shots too. Like he's got some good composition.
Yeah.
He's got his Yamaha helmet, and he's sitting on the trail doing a selfie with his fiance, his now wife, in the back. Nice groomed trails. Love those days. Here the two Vipers are sitting having a rest in the bush along the trail. Oh, and here's a deer that just got slaughtered.
Ah, that sucks, man.
Hopefully no one's watching this over dinner.
There's some good venison there. The meat was probably ruined.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, and then Greg D's last fan photo I've got here. He says he'd like to say thank you again for all the advice on this E-Tech. He said, we chatted last year before I got this sled. I was riding a 1997 670 MXZ. This MXZ 600 E-Tech is a great machine. I'm really glad I didn't get the 850 E-Tech. I'm hoping we get together to ride this winter. Oh, just for the record, I've been snowmobiling for 43 years now. Cheers, and keep the trackside down, stay safe, and have fun. Yeah, I remember this because I've got there he is as a little lad. I had a 1995 670 MXZ, which is on the channel, and then he was asking me about my buddy Dino's 600R, and I told him that you can't go wrong. Oh, this is the news footage from the original guy that was back in the thing. So this is actually Greg D's old 600 at Rev XP that he sent me a picture of. X package, nice little sled sitting in a farmer's field. That is, Bobby, this is really like down southern Ontario, like riding from my home. I'll see scenery like this with open flat fields, barns, silos, that type of thing.
Yeah, that's kind of how Tug Hill can be actually. So pretty similar between the two.
Yeah, nice. Which is nice. It's a nice change, right? Like you definitely get a nice change of a scenery. And then we go north, and it's all rock and trees and real
forest, deep trees,
forest trails, and up north that's a nice thing. We got the best of both worlds here. Pretty cool. So
Absolutely.
So that's it for the fan photo. So again, if you want to be featured on an upcoming episode, make sure you send your pictures to fanphoto@mudbrats.com and let us know where you're coming from. Let us know a little story, and we'll read it on the air for sure. So I'm just going to remove this, but I'm going to bring in Dan Girard, and he's from hey Dan, welcome aboard here.
How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Yep. So I'm in the museum right now.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Just so it's the Cochrane Classic Vintage Riders Club?
That's right, club and museum.
Okay, tell me a bit about that. The group. How long has it been in existence? And
Winter 2004, 2005. We decided to get together and get a museum going, and so we were 6 guys to start off with, and from there our club grew, and we had a smaller building at the time, part of the Heritage Village in the Polar Bear Habitat and Heritage Village in Cochrane here. And within a year, we had 50 sleds in there, and we were packed, like really packed.
Nice.
So we decided to apply with the town CAO, the past CAO, to get a grant see if we can get a grant to build a new museum, and it took a long time. We finally got the building started in the spring of 2016, and we moved in on November 26, 2016, in this building here that's 48 by 100.
Well, nice.
Mm-hmm.
And tell me a bit about what's happening. Like what's going on with you're getting a lot of media press releases and stuff going out, and that's why I reached out to you. Tell me a bit about the story of what's happening today.
Yeah, so really what's happened is the town of Cochrane has been flipping the bill. The taxpayers have been flipping the bill for the polar bear habitat and heritage village, and like our part, the museum's part of that, right? So they've been flipping the bill, and it got very to the point where the town can no longer afford the tax or afford to raise the taxes for the community, right? So what they've done is the town is looking at divesting themselves from the polar bear habitat, and there's a group of directors, a board of directors that are trying to do a transaction or transition, I guess, between the town assets and to them, right? Transferring the assets to them. Unfortunately, these people here don't want us here. Period. They want us gone. They want to use our building for something else that they want to do, and they don't even want the heritage village. They just want the polar bears, and they're going to change the name from the Cochrane Polar Bear Habitat to the Canadian Polar Bear Habitat. Apparently, it's got to do with investors wanting it that way. This here is a place here with the polar bears. It's a chance to do some research for polar bears in captivity. We have the only natural lake in the world in a polar bear enclosure. And
wow.
Our polar bears are well set up here.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I remember watching that last year. You had Levi LaValle up there last year.
Yes.
I remember watching that on snow tracks. I remember seeing that, and
yes.
I know a lot of people, friends and family that have been up there. So that's amazing, Dan. That's most unfortunate, Dan. So is there anything, like, are you linked with any clubs trying to help out, or is there anything, like, do you have a petition online, or is there anything that we can send out to our viewers and whatnot and on the podcast that can maybe help out possibly?
Yeah, what we're trying to do is right now is trying to convince our mayor and council that it's a bad deal. We feel that we're stuck in the middle, and hopefully the mayor and council will realize that this is not the best deal for the community. After all, we built this museum because we felt like Cochrane was the place where snowmobile started, the recreational snowmobile started.
That's right.
Skidoo was the very first dealership in the province, was here in Cochrane. And
right.
Wow.
For a little town like 5,000, today we still have 2 dealers that are selling 3 of the 4 major brands, and they're striving. They sell over 100 sleds a year.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. Yeah, it's a popular place. Anyone that's been snowmobiling for years, and even new people coming into the sport, know about the museum and obviously the polar bears and that. It's an amazing attraction. And I can remember hearing about it back 25 years ago when John Massenberg, who originally started Snow Tracks way back, was up there, and they did a show up there. So it's most unfortunate. I hope it works out, Dan, and I hope we can help out and try to get it some of the viewers and listeners can possibly help out, and people around your area, because it would be a loss. There's a lot of history there, and you've got some really, really awesome sleds, amazing sleds.
Yeah, I've actually got some photos we can go through. Can you see them okay if I put them up on screen, Dan?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've got some polar bears, and then this is a few shots from inside. If you know any stories, just feel free to chime in.
Sure, no problem. Have you got the Alouette Big Al as one of your pictures?
I don't think I do have any of those.
Look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right,
that's my old Exciter.
Yeah.
That's my old Exciter. It's a 1981.
Yeah. Yep.
Polaris TX340.
Some of these pictures are a little bit older because some of these have come and gone. See, that's the thing.
So how does it work? If I have a vintage sled and I want to put it in the museum, I can.
Well, they're all privately owned, and I mean, what we're looking for is, like, we don't want all the same, like the same machines, right? But by a specific brand. So I mean, we're trying to show the evolution of the snowmobile, and also the amount of. There's my grandson's little Alouette.
There's a kitty cat right beside it too. The original kitty cat, right?
Yeah, sorry, I just blew. This is Revrider spring order right here. Yeah. Sorry, Rev. I let the cat out of the bag.
So to speak.
I'll let it slide.
Yeah, I have two of these little Alouettes. My son has twins. They're 4.5 years old, so they're not in here anymore. They have them at home. And
nice.
I also have a kitty cat for my other grandson. So he's
awesome.
3, and he's going to be riding it hopefully soon. Yeah, there's a story there with those rups. There was a gentleman here from the Wasaga Beach area. I'm not sure exactly which place it was. In the late or mid 70s, decided to pull the plug on his dealership and move up here and start an outfitting business with a plane, outpost camps and everything else, and brought everything from his dealership and put it away in storage at home. Nobody knew about it.
Wow.
And finally, this guy that he's an aircraft mechanic, and he has a business, and he went to see him one day, and he said, "I hear you have rups," and the gentleman is no longer feeling very well, so he said yes, and they bought everything, and it's amazing. There's 3 of these right now assembled, but it's as if you lock the door on a dealership and walk out with everything.
Wow!
We've got brand new suits, boots, mitts, toques that have
That's
never
awesome.
sold tags on them, and these guys, the load of stuff that they have. Cases of windshields. I saw the stuff. I couldn't believe it. Like, they probably
that's amazing seeing the old stuff. I know I got some of my father-in-law's old 1970 Arctic Cat and Skidoo one-piecer suits. They're classics, man.
Yeah.
They're awesome to see some of the history. So back in, and Bobby, we were trying to say this at the beginning, Bobby. I'm not sure if you were aware of this, but back in the 70s and 80s, there was almost 200 manufacturers at one point in time of snowmobiles.
Wild.
You think about that. Like, everyone and their mother was building a snowmobile. Hey, Dan,
yeah,
I know
stores.
You've had some old sleds in there, man, that are obviously not around anymore. So it's awesome to see.
Well, I have a 67 McCulloch, and there's only 60 of them produced, and only for 1 year, 67.
Amazing.
Wow.
So I managed to find one. In a barn, actually, and I didn't know what it was at first till I researched it, and I ended up buying another one that was somewhat crushed, but for parts, and so I do have a. And what's funny is the hood is out of aluminum.
What, really?
Yeah, it's formed aluminum.
And that's the way they made their chainsaw cases too.
Yeah,
like and that's McCullough's a big chainsaw company, so.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
This is a beautiful shot. That's what I use for the thumbnail. The line of
the Overland. That's amazing.
Yeah, Olympics and TNT.
That's right. The Olympic.
It's Olympic.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We have every year up to I think it's 71 there or 69. There's a couple in there that are in there now that you don't see there. Again, we're looking at the kitty cats and stuff like that.
This is a 68. I love this.
That's awesome.
That's a 70 Black Dot TNT.
Oh, this is 70. I thought it was a 68.
No, that's a 70 Black Dot TNT, and that is the 340, I think. And this guy also has a 292 like that.
Nice. Now I see the headlight surround is black. What does that symbolize?
TNT.
Oh, is that right?
That's what they call the Black Dot. It's a TNT Black Dot.
Oh, neat. And look at the seat. Notice the seats. It's really modern, the way that it's formed. Like my Nordic wasn't like that. It was really hard. A separate piece actually on the Nordic. My 69 Nordic. Yeah.
That was the race machine.
This one is.
That was the stock racer, and then you get into the Blizzards, which were the factory racers.
Nice. I love the Blizzard too. Yeah, the Rup's nice. This old Mercury. Yeah. My friend Dino's wife had one of those growing up as a kid, so that's why he took a picture of it.
Yeah, it comes from, that one there actually comes from Winnipeg.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow. Is that a snow twister?
Pardon me?
Is that a Mercury snow twister?
No, that's just a regular, it's a 250E.
Okay.
Electric. No, I have a snow twister and a trail twister.
Okay.
They're both at home. The trail twister was in the museum, and I took it out to change the plastic belly pan for a fiberglass.
Okay.
But, you know, when you start, first thing you know, the engine comes apart. Everything's apart.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Cracked and, you know.
Oh, look at the old gear. There's a trail bag for you, Gary, for this year. There you go, buddy.
Exactly. Hey, you know what?
The original link system.
It is for sure.
Yeah,
actually, it's strapped onto the back bar.
Yeah. The collectors are paying good money for those bags.
That right there smells old and gas and oil, two-stroke. Like that. You smell the helmet, that bag, that's all you'll get out of that. That's awesome.
Rich, the helmets are still wet with oil.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I love seeing the old history. Even the old decal. That's amazing that you got some old decals there like that, Dan. That's great.
And see the beer opener there? I've seen one of those and I didn't buy it. And it's like, I kicked myself ever since. I didn't buy the old, there was a skidoo and a moto ski beer bottle opener. And I kicked myself. I didn't buy them. It was at a store. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of that, those things there, those items there are owned by a gentleman, Dan Girard, which is a collector. He lives in the Ottawa area. His dad is from here, Cochrane, and Ron was born in Cochrane. But his dad was Belil Track Sales' very first mechanic to work on sleds.
Wow.
And so Ronnie has picked up a lot of that memorabilia over the years.
Yeah. That was one of my questions, Dan. You just said I was told, and I could be wrong here, the majority of those sleds are owned by one person. Is that correct, or
no?
Like a lot of them? No. Oh, okay.
No,
sorry.
They're all privately owned. And,
okay.
And, I mean, like myself, I've got 5 or 6 in here.
Okay.
You know, I mean, that's about the most, maybe 5 or 6 sleds owned by one person.
Okay, I thought somebody in there owned the majority of them. Okay, that's good to know.
No, and there's some from Quebec also. Like we have some friends. We got a couple of chaparrals from Quebec. At one time, we had a blizzard from Saskatchewan. So we had one of those. So a race.
Nice.
Yeah, we have Dave. You guys remember Dave joined us? He was the pro snowcross racer, and from Cochrane here, our pro rider. And he rode in the CSRA circuit, and then he rode in the American circuit also for a while. Okay. Anyways, we have Dave's championship sled here, this Polaris snowcross machine on display.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
That's another sled we have. Yeah.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, like we've got, a very rare Yamaha SR 433 factory race sled. It's never been raced oval. We got a couple of Thunderjets, a 340 and a 440 Thunderjet. You know, we have some of those that are, they're cool race sleds, obviously, So,
do you have any Tim Bender sleds from Yamaha at all there, Dan?
No.
Or no?
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
So that would be nice.
Yeah.
Well, I've got you on a big screen if you want to take a walk around and give us a tour.
Okay,
turn your device sideways though.
Like so.
Rotate.
Okay, sideways, yeah.
There you go. Perfect. That's beautiful. Look at that. I love that beard.
Yeah.
So now do I have to flip it so that you guys can see it, or just kind of?
That would be great. That would be great, Dan.
Yeah. Flip it so we can see the museum, and you can talk while you do it.
Okay, so I'm just gonna point. Okay, I'm gonna back up.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that looks good.
So when you come in the door, this is what you see: a snow trek.
Okay, yeah.
That was made in Switzerland.
Just move your finger there if you can. Your fingers. There you go. Perfect.
How's that?
You take video like my grandmother.
Okay, thanks. So here we have a fishing display, fishing display.
That's awesome.
Cool.
Now the cabin idea was the fact that back in 1960, 59, 60, this is how snowmobile started in Cochrane, because people needed to get to their cottages and winter cabins, right?
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of places here, they would boat in the summer, but then they use the snowmobiles in the wintertime. So a lot of the old timers too, actually, when they got to the camp on Friday night, they would take the engine out, put it in the cabin for the weekend, and then Sunday afternoon, put it back in the sled so that they could go home. You know? So here's our little cabin as you're walking through.
That is cool.
You know? And it's a real straw mattress, by the way.
I think I seen that
awesome.
fox move. I think I seen that fox move. Is you sure it's dead?
Well, that's a wolf you're looking at.
That's a wolf, timber wolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so here you are. Here's the beginning of the.
Oh, that's awesome.
Jet, Thunder
Nice.
Jet, and you're looking down.
Look at all that history there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? We get up. I got to get up there this year. I have to. That's. I got to do that. Yeah, that's amazing.
The Super Stingerette here is owned by a lady, and when we went to pick it up, her husband was the dealer back in the day. And when
Just
we
tip
went to
your
pick it
phone up a bit. Tip her phone up a bit. There we go. Perfect.
Okay. And she turned around and she asked us. She said, "Where are you going with my sled?" We said, "In the museum."
Wow.
Nice.
Look at the sparkle paint job too. On that. That's
The
awesome.
metal flake. I love it.
The metal
Yeah.
flake is amazing.
It's a
That's
gel coat, just like a boat, like a bass boat.
Yeah.
So here you are. You're looking at. Can you see the SR?
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
yep.
Wow.
Nice.
And then the
That is
Thunderjet.
gorgeous.
Yeah, and the next Yamaha is mine, the Outlaw.
Nice.
Nice.
Don't let Larry and Tyser find that one.
Never. I actually, that's the first one that I purchased in '79, and I still use it to drag race when we have a snow drag, and also our vintage ride.
Yeah, is it pretty quick? Is it? Like, what have you got done to it?
No, not a lot, but
No.
enough. To
That's
beat,
nice that stock though.
Enough to beat a GPX 433.
Sweet.
He even knows the model to beat. That's awesome.
338.
Yeah.
There we go. We got a.
Look at the SRV there.
The SRV.
Oh,
So my brother-in-law, that was the first sled I ever rode. Right there, that SRV.
Nice.
That single carb spitting out gas and oil at you.
Yeah,
and that VMAX is gorgeous beside it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Is that a 500 or what is that?
No, that's the 440.
440. Yeah.
440?
81, yeah.
Yeah. That was a wicked motor.
Yeah.
And the SS is another SRV.
Another
Love it.
SRV.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one's my son's, that SRV. He's got 3 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dan told me off air that he's allowed to have all the snowmobiles. His wife will let him hide.
Here's a few of the rups down on the bottom.
Oh, nice.
Now,
Nice.
You see this one?
Yeah, what happened there?
Ooh.
No, that's a sled.
Is that the
Oh,
one
it's
that you
just
sit
skis.
on the back of?
Yeah.
No, you have to put those skis to be able to drive it.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
It tows you, right? It tows you.
No.
Bobby,
I think-
you
checking
sit
that
on.
back in the day.
Oh, you actually sit on that one?
Yeah. Look at can you see the name? It's a Larvin Caterpillar.
Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a Larvin Caterpillar.
That's
Have
awesome.
you rode it? Have you rode anything like that, Dan, before?
No, that belongs to a gentleman around Cayuga, and
Yeah.
he has 2 of them actually.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, you can
That
see the
is
track,
awesome.
see the track in the front.
Oh, look at it.
Yeah.
It's just metal bars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wow.
So
No rubber
here's-
was injured during the making of that track.
Yeah,
Right.
here's a Polaris drag sled. Now, Dave joined us, the guy, the snowcross. This was his
Okay.
grandfather's machine.
Wow. Looks
Just
like you
go to
won
the
a lot
left
of
a bit.
a lot of races.
Just pan to the left just a bit. There you go. Oh, other way. There we go. Perfect.
There we
Right
go.
there.
That's
Yeah.
nice. Literally,
Yeah,
he's
good.
won quite a few races. I can see there, Dan. Eh?
Yeah. What happened was grandfather and grandmother were lost in a plane crash,
Oh,
and they were lost for 20 some odd years. So Dave's mom raced this machine for a while, and then finally they found the grandparents a few years ago in the bush. Loggers found
Really?
them. Yeah,
Wow.
loggers found them. And there's Dave's championship sled.
Whew.
oh, nice. Oh, that's
nice.
awesome.
See? Yeah.
Diller's Meats. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That was our pro rider.
You can see it where it started coming out there, eh, Bobby? The axis, you can see it coming.
Oh yeah, yep.
The technology, you can see where they were starting to go with it, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's awesome.
There again, just going to bring you over here.
I think we're losing you.
Can you see the red Diablo?
Oh yeah, I love those.
Oh,
yeah.
You're losing me?
No, I've got you now. Hey, listen, that Diablo,
Okay.
I've seen that a lot on the Skidoo's show. Those are awesome. You sit on the back and it pivots in the middle to steer.
Yeah, it belongs to my best friend, and he went to the anniversary in Port Washington, Wisconsin, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, and our Tom's Hall ride that we do every year. There's a check on the wall. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
20 grand.
Yeah,
Nice.
We've
$20,000.
We've given over $65,000 since we started that. And the machine you see in the bottom here, the RXL.
Yeah, just go down a bit.
Okay.
There we go. Yep,
There we
that's
go.
nice.
Yeah, I remember when those came out.
That was Tom's machine. He was with us the first ride.
Wow.
Nice.
Are you losing me?
Just off and on. You're probably getting further away from the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, there's the Alouette Big Al.
Oh, that's the
nice.
one.
That's
I remember
four
seeing that last year. Yeah.
4 triples with stingers on each of them.
Yep.
That's amazing.
If I go any closer, I'll lose you because they told me the Wi-Fi kind of ends over here somewhere. So.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good. That's
So
awesome. You imagine showing up to the lake with that bad boy? All right, who wants to line up?
Yeah, make sure you have hearing protection.
Right?
Where do you sit on, Dan, where do you sit on that, on Big Al?
You don't. You
I
hold
don't know
on.
if you see the windshield and the roll bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the roll bar.
Roll bar.
Yeah, I had you down in there. So you're sitting in the engines.
Yeah, you've got shafts and clutches and everything beside you.
You're immense in
Holy.
that power, so you truly feel what it's like, Gary, to ride on 4 engines.
That would be
mission.
awesome. Mm-hmm.
Suicide mission.
That's awesome.
There's our big machine at the corner. On the corner there, our B12.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Hey,
that's
that bike
that's
on
a Bombardier machine, is that not, Dan?
Yes, it is. That's the.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
That was one of the original ones, I think, back in the day.
I think this one's a 49.
Yeah,
It's
Nice.
When he
all
Look at
wood
this.
body.
Look at the snow bike on the top.
Yes.
Isn't that awesome?
It's a Chrysler Snow Runner.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
And there's a pretty mean Arctic Cat too. They're a nice one.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah, that was the
sweet.
Altigra. Isn't that the Altigra? Or is
no,
it the 6000? What is that?
No, that's a. Trying to read
Is that
here.
is that the 6000? Because the Altigra looks
It looks
very
like
similar
a
to
Z.
Yeah, it looks like a Z.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a Z.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Z or
Nice.
Z. Us Canadians say Z and,
Yeah,
and
I
Bobby
totally
say
forgot,
Z.
yeah.
No, that's fine. It's ZZ Top,
Yeah.
not ZZ Top. It's ZZ Top.
Yeah.
Oh, we're losing you again there, Dan.
Cobra is behind. I'll go around and you'll be able to see more from the other side.
For
There's
sure.
that Merc.
Oh, there we go.
There's that
That
Merc.
Merc Twister. Yeah, yeah.
So as you can see, some are fully restored, some are survivors. You know, they're like this was a survivor, that moto ski. You know,
Yeah.
and here's a nice chaparral restored.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Sweet. How many sleds have you got in there in total?
Close to 100.
Good question.
You can see
Close to
the
100, eh? Like if you're listening to this in podcast, he's got racks. Like he's looking down an aisle right now,
They're
and
stacked.
there's got to be 20 sleds, 10 on the bottom, 10 on the top, and then on the other side of the aisle, that's maybe 3.5 feet wide. There's another 20 sleds, 10 on the bottom, 10 on the top, all chaparrals, like mint condition. It's gorgeous. What's it smell like in there? Does it have a nice snowmobile smell?
It smells like heaven in there, bud.
I bet.
No,
I
it really
bet.
doesn't. I don't know if you can see the suits.
Yeah, I do. I love old clothing.
Okay, look at this one here. I remember the last race we had in Cochrane was in '72, and this gentleman here, Larry Hill, with Hill Brothers Racing. They were racing, and that's his cape and suit from '72.
That's cool. That's cool. Mark Bow says, check out the snow prints. We must have walked past the snow prints.
Yes.
You know. Hey, Mark Bow, just stop right there. Whoa. Go back to that ski boost, the second one on the top, the last one on the right on the top.
Oh, yes.
Mark Bow, did you recognize that? No, that one right there. Right. I actually had that one last year. Okay. Mark Bow gave it to me.
Okay.
What'd you do with it? You don't have it anymore?
I sold the Nordic and that. I had to sell the Nordic and the ski boost because I'm a loser. Yeah, and I was so pissed off about the whole deal that I just gave the guy all my collectibles that went around that. My helmet. I had an old helmet that not that helmet, but yeah. Mark Bow says, wow, there it is. That's it. And mine was pretty good shape. Now, I didn't have the factory windshield, but I made one that was pretty darn close. But it had the actual vinyl seat back. See how it's snap riveted on? You could actually unsnap that. You could actually pop the cover off, the cowl off, and use it as an ice fishing toboggan. That was a 1970 Mark. What would that be? Mark 1, Dan?
This one here is Mark 2, I think. Mark 1, this one. That's right.
Mark 2s were big. They were like double that size. They're huge.
Right. That's right.
Yeah.
So these ones here were built to go in a land body, like a land snowmobile, whereas the Mark II was built to go with a Nordic.
Yeah, that actual hood isn't a land hood. The windshield isn't a land windshield.
Yeah.
Just as an FY. Get off that shot. It's making me sad.
Okay.
Actually, you know what? It went to it might just in saying that it went to a really good home. The guy lives up north, and him and his buddies do vintage rides, and they go out and like dream rides with vintage sleds, and they'll throw a barbecue hibachi in the back, and there's I think he said 10 of them. They go out and so it went to a really good home.
Few toys.
Yeah, I love those little. Those are hard to find. Those little skidoo sleighs. Like that's a kid's up on the top there. Is the yellow plastic hood.
Big. Yeah.
Yeah.
I own both. I own
you
both.
do?
Yeah.
Nice.
The second one was actually my son's, and the first one it was given to me after we had the museum going, but the first one's my son's original. So.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. He'd like to have it now, but I'm not letting him have it. He's 40 years old. He can't ride it anymore.
Yeah. Look at all the toys.
He actually got his first black eye with it.
Really?
Yeah, he slammed in the back of my sleigh that I was hauling firewood with.
Oh, no.
And he told Mom, he said, Dad got me a black eye. It was his fault. He was parked in the wrong place.
That's funny.
He threw me under the
I like how the you had a little workbench over there all set up like it's that's cool.
So that workbench is actually one of the originals out of the little track sale in Cochrane here. After they closed the dealership, so here's some more toys and helmets and.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome.
And again, this is what they're trying to close down. I mean, this is beautiful. I mean, what a bunch of history for Cochrane here.
Here's our Polar Bear Cup for the OSOR races that we do. This is the second year now, so this is the cup that we you can see it.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So, anyways, I'll zoom down here a little bit. You tell me if you can still see me. So there's the black dot.
Yep. Yeah. Nice.
Okay. So these are all Olympics. So the only one we don't have is the 71. So we start 72. 70, 69.
Yeah, I see a silver bullet there. That was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, 72 silver bullet.
Yeah. Now the guy that restores this one, is the same guy that owns this one here, the TNT, the black dot. You can tell his restorations. There's an awesome 68, but I'm afraid to lose. It's not in the lineup here.
Oh, okay.
I'm afraid to lose you. Unfortunately, I'd like to really show it to you. So here's
we'll try it. Try it. You can always come back and let you back in.
So there's my
look at the McCullough. Nice. Look at that.
Wow. See what I mean by the hood?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's just one bent piece of aluminum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's actually got a carburetor cover on it, though. That's blasphemy, isn't it?
Well, you know what he was thinking? He was tired of getting gas and oil spat at him.
His scarf stuck in there. You'd be flying along the field, and the carb would be going like, "Brrr," and then your scarf would get sucked in it, and go, it'd be like choked out.
Yeah.
Brr, brr, brr. Oh, pull the scarf out. Brr, brr.
There's a Trail Cat.
Oh, sweet. Who
That's
made
my son's
those?
Trail Cat. My son owns that one.
That's awesome.
Little John.
Oh,
Deere.
Spitfire.
Oh, there's the John Deere
Yeah.
Spitfire.
Yeah.
Wow.
My buddy had one of those. It was awesome. Air
John Deere
cooled.
green.
Show the hood on
Funny.
that thing for the people that don't know what it is.
You see the decal, how the deer's pointed down?
Oh, yeah.
Well, John Deere changed it because they wanted the deer pointing up for prosperity. And they started changing it. So the original Deere logo, John Deere logo, had the deer angled down. And they changed it about 25 years ago with the deer. See how it's up going down?
Yeah.
And now
That's awesome.
the deer logo points up.
That one too.
That's awesome.
Are you a
that's
freaking
right.
branding expert there, buddy? No, I love how the air cooled fins are sticking through the hood on those, and you'd hit a drift and it would just be
That's
like
awesome.
a sauna. There you go.
Yeah.
The John Deere Spitfire. That was
and a buddy had a Sport Fire, John Deere Sport Fire, liquid cooled. Yeah. Like
Bobby,
a lot
those,
of,
those were the MXZs back in the day, bud. The John Deere Spitfire. That was that was the bee's knees. That's
and the Sport Fire was liquid, and they had sliders and everything. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Look at the T-bird in the back there. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's some history there, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Silver Line T-bird.
You know what, Gary? We got to do a trip up there. You know what?
Yeah, we
Who knows
do.
What's going on there? Seriously, man, we'll go up there and get a hotel and. do
Is that
ride
a
up
date?
and
Like, are you positioning me?
get up there and
shark.
ride the miles, buddy. Look at that Argo. That's an Argo.
Nice.
Argo Shark.
What was that with that green? Dan, what was with that green, that teal skidoo that was you just passed?
Ski
What's
roll?
up with that one?
That's a ski roll. That was
Ski
a Quebec
roll,
company
okay.
too. Yep.
Okay.
They were big too back in the day, Dan. Eh?
They were.
a big man. They were huge ski roll.
Yes,
Yeah.
they were really. They were a lot like the Skidoo though.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell they were
Yeah.
they were both made in Quebec.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
A lot of the same designs, but yeah. So here's this Argo.
Oh, your finger's in the way.
Oh, sorry,
There you go.
There
Perfect.
we go. Yep.
Argo Super Shark.
That's
Nice.
awesome. That's in good shape, Dan.
Look
That's
how
a really
nice the
good-
cowl and everything is on it.
that
Eh?
guy's got the registration numbers on it. You got to pull that off.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
See that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, we lost him.
No, I'm
Damn.
losing you, eh?
No,
Yep.
yeah. What was that
Sorry.
that you just showed? Oh, there's that 68
back?
right there. Yeah, I caught a glimpse of the 68 right there.
There it is.
There it is. That's a 68. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a classic too. Eh?
Wow.
That back part.
yeah,
Can you see the picture?
yeah. I can.
Yeah.
Who's
Yep.
is that? You?
Is that you?
No, that's a good friend of mine. And the picture was taken in 1969, and 50 years later, the machine was fully restored, and here he is again with a picture 50 years later. It was his dad's
That's
machine.
awesome.
And,
Oh, cool.
the dad sold the machine. He was able to find it, and the guy restored it for him, and he took a picture 50 years later of him on his dad's machine.
Nice, nice.
That is deceased, and but he's got the machine.
Oh, that's great. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
What kind of contracts do you have with these people? Like, I mean, let's say you had a machine like that, and I wanted to put it in the museum. Oh, look at those!
Yeah, that's the wooden skis on that bad boy.
Yeah.
That's got to be one of the originals.
Yeah,
Right
there we
there.
go. There's the
There,
wooden
look
one.
at that. Look at the suspension there, Bobby. Look at
Yeah.
that travel.
Do you have a legal document lined up that you know these are still the owner's possessions?
Yes, yeah, we draw up documents with the owners, and we kind of work out a price and see how much like what the value of the machine.
Yeah.
So like
Oh,
that's
that's cool.
That's first tin cab with the wooden skis, like that's appraised at 10,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I can believe it.
The next
I can
one
believe it.
The next one beside it I seen one go on sale for sale that wasn't even near that condition, and it sold for $6,000. It wasn't even the original color of the seat. You can see the original colors.
Yeah, they're red.
Yeah.
I like that skidoo sign there too, Dan. Sorry to interrupt you there, but when Central Outboard on Woodbine was closing down, they had that original sign, and I could have grabbed it, and I regret it. I didn't grab it.
Oh, you shoulda.
I
That's
know.
classic.
They were changing it when they went, when it was going out of Bombardier to BRP.
Yeah.
And they're no longer a skidoo dealer, and they were an old one of the original Ontario skidoo dealers.
Yeah. I don't know if you can see the snow prints.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, Mark had his eye on that snow prints. Yeah.
There's two of them there. I own both of them.
Nice.
This one here is a GT 500, and it's got a Hearth 493 engine, and I've ridden it twice in our vintage ride. The second time, though, I shut it down early because it was too hot, and I didn't want to blow the engine.
Yeah, wow.
Talk about a cool sled to ride, though.
Yeah, that's neat.
But when you do about 45 kilometers on that, you kind of like to jump back on your new sled and go for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring it to the other side a little bit.
What's the newest sled that you own, Dan?
2018 Yamaha.
Oh, nice.
But I'm a bush guy, so
Okay.
I'm running a VK 540.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I've had VMAXs. Well, I shouldn't say. I've got a VMAX 4800.
Nice.
Nice.
That's my
The old
sled.
VMAX 4s. They're nice.
Yeah.
That was the old king of the lake.
Yeah.
When they came out with that bad boy. I remember when they came out with that thing.
Yeah. We're still there, hit and miss, but we're still good. This is golden, Dan. This is awesome.
Yeah.
There's an Arian.
Arians, yeah. Another lawn and garden company on, at the plate.
Yeah, and I'll try to get this snow jet in because it's really nice.
Oh, that is. Look at it's mint.
That is in mint.
Yeah, beautiful snow jet. Yeah. You see a few of those around. Was it a pretty big player back in the day, Dan?
Yep. They were a big manufacturer.
Yes, it was. It was. Now here's a very rare machine. It's hard to show it to you. Okay,
Oh, that's
it's
that
almost
one
like
that-
a husky, but that's a bobcat.
Yeah. Mark Bow is blowing up the comments.
Yeah.
Mark Bow is blowing up the comments. He's just, I knew he'd love this show. He is just loving it. He's got comments on everything. I love it. Yeah.
Okay, so the bobcat. Okay, so anybody have ever seen the huskies? The huskies are like the Diablo Rouge, right? The Boland's Diablos with the tracks.
Yep.
Okay, so the bobcat. What happened was a company out of Kirk and Lake, Ontario, decided they were going to manufacture a sled, and they sort of copied the husky. Well, Husky found out, and Husky sued them. So they only ended up producing a very small amount of them, and they're really rare to find. And the reason I know this history is because the gentleman that writes the books on Pierre Pedrin, that writes the books on the history of all the antique snowmobiles, he asked me one day. He said, "Do you know anything about the bobcat?" And I said, "Well, we have one in our museum." He has all the history from Husky. The family that produced the Husky gave him all the paperwork of the lawsuit.
Wow.
So he came to Cochrane and documented this one because he wanted to see for himself what it looked like and that. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, this is our little tour here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, yeah. Oh, I love that. Thank you for the tour, Dan. That was exciting, man. There's a single ski. Is that an Alpine?
Yes.
The single ski? Yeah.
There's two of them there, actually.
Is there?
Yeah, there was two of them. Sorry. I thought maybe you saw them a while ago.
There we go. Oh, an Alpine, and the other one's a. Are they both Alpines? The other one's some.
Yeah, the first one here is a 64.
Yeah.
Okay, I dug that out of a gully. I paid $50 for it. I dug it out of a gully, and then I started restoring it, and then I went on to something else. So I sold it to the friend of mine, and he finished it up. Now the other one that belongs to some guy in Cochrane here also, and it was restored by the same guy that did the '68, the silver bullet, the black dot. It's the same gentleman that restored all of those. But that '64, down the line, there's another '64, a single track, and I own that one too. I bought that one for a case of beer from this.
That's awesome.
owner.
Yeah.
And so I actually sold them both. Ironically, this double track here has an 8 horsepower engine on it, and the single track has a 9 horsepower engine.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's insane.
So when I was a kid, we rode on a '64 exactly the same as that, and that family still owns their '64 that I rode on as a kid on the farm.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Sometimes he's now commented, he says he thinks he's seen a Chaparral Firebird there. Do you have one of those?
Yep. This one here. I think this is the Firebird. If I'm not mistaken. No, this is the Thunderbird. So it might be the other one. I think. Yes, that's the Chaparral Firebird.
Oh, that's sweet too.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It's the same owner. He's from Rouen, Quebec.
Aluminum tunnel too.
Yep.
That must have been one of the first. I think Rupp had the aluminum tunnels to start, didn't they?
Most likely, yeah. And then, but he's got a slide rail suspension. I don't know if I get close enough, you guys can see. It's slide and bogey.
Yeah, it's combined, right?
Yeah.
Wow, weighed 400 pounds, just the suspension only.
Yeah, and there's a nice whirlwind down here. Nasty whirlwind.
That's cool.
That's owned by the same gentleman that owns the Argo.
Oh yeah, nice.
Here's another metal plate one for you.
Yeah.
Oh wow, the Scorpion.
Yeah, another
Yeah,
Scorpion.
sweet.
Yeah, try to
I love how you have the clothing too. I think that's really neat. What a nice touch.
Well, you know, that's the biggest thing is to try to get, stuff to go with it, right? Helmet, all that stuff. So, yeah, there's a lot of collecting. Actually, I don't know if you see up here, the second one is a Mercury, a red Mercury jacket. I'll try to
That's awesome.
get it up there.
Nice.
That was my father-in-law.
Oh wow.
I had a blue one, but I ruined mine. I burnt the front of it. So,
That's awesome.
I wish I had it today, but.
Oh man, my father-in-law's Arctic Cat and Skidoo had so many cigarette burns all over it because they'd be riding around with darts hanging out of their mouth.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's
cool. So what happens? What happens if so? Where are you at with the negotiations with the town? Is it kind of a this is an impending doom for you guys, or is there some hope here, or where's it at?
Well, that's the thing. They kept us in the dark, and I mean that's unfortunately we have a kind of a gentleman's agreement with the town when we first started this. Was with the former CAO of the town, which he was a snowmobiler and very involved in snowmobiling, but we have a new CAO and a new council. It's not all the councilors, but the mayor, they're not interested in this at all.
Yeah, but Dan, it's history though. Like I don't understand how someone can sit there and not. I mean, you look at the area. You think of the tourism and travel dollars that snowmobilers come up to ride your area. It's almost. Sorry, Dan, and I don't mean to talk politics here, but it's almost an insult that they would be doing that. People come up there not only to ride the trails and see the polar bears, but to come to your museum.
Spend huge money up there.
It scratches and it baffles me that they're trying to shut you down. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, but we're talking non-snowmobilers here. We're talking people that,
I know, but Dan, there must be a study out there in regards to how much dollar value comes into your community from snowmobilers from all over Ontario and probably outside of the province and down in the U.S. for that matter.
Oh, definitely there is. I mean, like we our OSOR oval races, just as an example, last March, it was the second year we did it in Cochrane here, and for OSOR it was their second largest payout day, and their second largest race in their circuit in Ontario, second to Eganville, which has been in existence for 46 years.
Eganville's huge.
They had somewhere, I think it was 63 racers, and we had 55 plus racers that came up to race here in Cochrane, including a young lady that Sabrina Blanchette. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of her. She's an oval racer, and she races at Eagle River and all over. And I mean, she's a pro racer, and she came here from Drummondville, Quebec. Like her team came and her. And my God, it was like amazing to watch her race. She won every race she was in, actually. But the thing is, like we had a gentleman from upstate New York come up and race, and he wants to come back. And
yeah, Dan, and again, not to, like I'm just asking here, like have you reached out to the OFSC or even the manufacturer, the Snowmobile Manufacturers Association? I mean, they usually rally behind this kind of thing. I mean, it's history and. I'm dumbfounded. It baffles me.
Well, yeah. So, I mean, our new CAO is not from here. Our mayor wasn't originally from here, you know. So there are people that don't know the history, and I mean, I know who the mayor is, and he hides in the wintertime. He's not a snowmobile. Yeah. You know? Who
can people email to
we have to
show support?
Here, Gary.
The town council, like the mayor and council. I've been trying to get an email going with them, telling them we've had people like our OSOR people. They've really sent some letters and comments and whatever people put on our Facebook. I automatically print it out so that we have a good printout or a good hard copy of all these letters. But it can be sent directly to the town clerk.
Okay, send me, if you can email me that email address, I'll make sure it goes in the comment below.
Okay.
And then I'm not just saying for support from Mudbrats viewers. I think Revrider550, if we can get your viewers support on this as well, make sure you email these guys to keep this thing alive, because one day you might be touring up here and to see it. Actually, if you go to the Upper Peninsula, you can cross over and come down to Cochrane. I don't think it's that far.
We're roughly about 450 miles from Sioux, Michigan.
Okay,
so
perfect.
Now, Dan, another question too. Again, just throwing it out there. Has anyone reached out to the district OFSC governor for up that area? Like, I don't know who that is.
No, right now it's been pretty well a one-man band by myself trying to save this.
Okay, so I think we need to, Gary, maybe we can reach out to the OFSC district governor that's up that way. I mean, he's got to know about this. This is huge.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Any help is appreciated because, I mean, obviously, this is what we're trying to prove to the town council, that it's a bad deal. I mean,
it is.
Dan, another thing. Sorry to interrupt you, Dan. Another thing I was thinking too, that we got to reach out. I know Snow Tracks has come up there, STV's come up there, the Super Tracks magazine, like OFSC. This is like I'm really, again. I don't mean to sound over dramatic, but it baffles me. We got to get these people involved, Gary. Like,
for sure, we can. Yeah, anything we can help out with, we will.
Yeah, we had a Snowmobile TV and on Snow Magazine interview here, and I mean, I do know the host of the Snowmobile TV, Jeff, and I spoke to him last week. And
good.
But he does, like, he can't say anything representing his company. I mean,
no, I know it's political.
Yeah.
As far as the Lesters for Super Tracks, I've never had a chance to meet them here. I mean, we've had celebrities. I've reached out to Levi LaValle because he came here and he
last year.
Yeah, last year, and like we even had Wayne and Bob Izumi.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Dave Nerona is a big fan of this podcast as well, and he's got a lot of connections in skidoo, and I think when he sees this, it'll break his heart as well. But yeah, we'll talk afterwards too, because I think I can get some involvement to help you out as well. But I think we have to pull together and see. Did they give you any kind of idea of timing or timelines?
No, like I said, we've pretty well much been kept in the dark. We've only had one meeting, and it was with one of our counselors that's on the committee to oversee the transaction or the transfer. And he's a non-snowmobiler. Out of all the counselors, there's two that are really on our side, and only one has been mandated to it out of the counselors. And so, we did invite him to come to the museum because he wanted to have a chat with us. So we thought we'd do it here, and I think we opened his eyes. But I haven't heard from him at all lately, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It needs to come from the grassroots. We need to get people involved from all of that. Yeah, whatever we can do, Dan, we'll do to help you. So we don't want to see that closed down.
We greatly appreciate it because, our Newtown CAO went and told council that we were actively looking for a new location, and it came out in our newspaper, and I said, no, we've never spoken to the man. How can he turn around and put words in our mouths that we've never done that. We've never spoke to him, and we're not leaving. If we have to leave, we're going to close. That's the only thing. There is no other building. We are close to the trail system. We're right up beside the trail system here. So every convenience is here for us, and we worked to get the grant for this building. We designed the building. I designed this building.
And like
nice.
You guys built it.
On the cabin and everything in there. It's done tastefully. It's amazing.
This was all done by us, the volunteers, our club. All the materials was donated from some of the mills we have here, the plywood mill, the sawmill. Our home hardware here in Cochrane has been fantastic in donating stuff too. That big mural behind me over here, that was totally paid by Home Hardware.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So, we have all these people behind us, but it seems like, I know they want to do good towards the town people, but, I just think they need to go look for their own grant, for their own building.
Yeah. Well, the sad part is, the polar bears are part of it, and they want to keep them and throw you out. It doesn't make sense, Yeah. Can you any way you can train those polar bears to attack on command, or and then have a little meet?
If I could, I would.
Well, you know what? Honestly, Dan, you'll be surprised at how many people will step up. You know what? We just got to get collectively some people involved. I think the OFSC needs to hopefully maybe have someone that can help out. Maybe between Gary, and. Dave Nerona that was on, and some of our viewers are chiming in here. So,
Mark Bull, we will get the information for the council and the mayor. I think that's the thing. If we can get some email addresses for those, I can help you out with starting a website up for Save the Museum, and we can do a sign, like a petition form there. But I think Rich kind of hit the nail on the head when he said we got to find the statistics on how much money snowmobiling brings to Cochrane, because I bet you that town makes more money in the 2 months of winter, 3 months of winter that they have up there than they do the rest of the year.
Oh,
guaranteed.
Yeah, it does.
I'm actually a groomer operator for the local OFSC club. Myself and my good friend, that's our treasurer, Norm. The two of us, we help out with, we're volunteer groomer operators also for the OFSC club here, the Polar Bear Riders.
Yeah. You all you got to do is follow the OFSC. We get that thing to fill out every year of where you traveled, how much I spent, and then they come out every spring that, how many billions of dollars does snowmobiling put into the economy in Ontario alone? And And I'm really surprised the council. It's almost like you can't see the forest through the trees. Like
That's right.
it's a head scratcher to me. But
Yeah.
Dan,
again,
here's something Dakota actually mentioned. Could you do a fundraiser? And he says to buy the property, but would fundraising help? Would fundraising help in any way that you could maybe look for another spot or?
Yeah, well, you see the basic thing here is that there's somebody at the door here, and like because they have the people coming to see the polar bears also. There's somebody at the gate. Like we'd have to, if we were at a different location, we'd have to man the gate ourselves, and there's no way we can. Like we're only, we're a very small group, and it seems like every time that we go to do something, now we're down to 3 or 4 of us, 5 maybe, if we're lucky, right? So that's a major problem for us is having to run the gate, right? So if we're somewhere else, we're not going to be able to be open. That's the biggest problem.
That's true.
Volunteers, it's struggling everywhere, and the OFSC is starting to deal with that now.
Yeah.
With the old guys are getting old, unfortunately, or and the young people aren't stepping up. Well, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, I did my time there. I was part of my local snowmobile club for years, and and it's unfortunately you got to start getting new blood in, otherwise it won't keep going. So.
Yeah. Bobby down the bottom here, he's from the United States. Have you seen anything like this, Bobby? Have you witnessed any museum this good?
There is a museum in Michigan, Top of the Lake Museum. It's called in northern Michigan, and they have quite a large collection of beautiful sleds too. We've seen pictures, and actually my friend Norm has stopped there and viewed the museum. That's on my bucket list to go and see it whenever the borders open again.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. What happened was there was a whole bunch of machines that were at the Skidoo Museum in Valcourt, Quebec with Big Al at the same time as Big Al was there.
Yeah, right on.
A number of years ago, somebody came in, a new curator at the Valcourt Museum, turned around and kicked everything out that wasn't Skidoo. And that's how come Big Al was kicked out and a whole bunch of other sleds.
Wow.
And a lot of those other sleds ended up at Top of the Lake Museum.
Yeah. Wow.
There was discussion about Big Al going there, but we kind of intercepted it.
That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's Canadian history. It's just in Canada. Not that I have anything against the U.S., but something like that. It's a unique machine, one of, it should stay in Canada. We're glad to have it. So, and I mean, we have a contract for 5 years with it. So,
okay, good.
Which I, kind of think it might end up staying longer. It belongs to the Museum of Science and Technology of Canada, and they have no intention on displaying it. It was in storage.
Holy cow! Well, that's amazing that you have that. That's pretty cool.
It took me 2 years to actually find it. Somebody had sent me a picture of it, all crated up, and it actually took me 2 years to find it. And the fact that they were closed due to renovation. But my daughter lives in Ottawa, and I went down there, and I finally said, "Okay, let's go to the museum. They got to talk to me." And after I spoke with them, within 2 weeks, it was here.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We'll do what we can, Dan, to help, and we'll talk off too as well,
and let's stay in touch. And if any viewers have any suggestions on what they may be able to do or what we should be doing to help them out, I think time is of the essence. If we can strike now, as opposed to leaving it and letting them have the upper hand kind of thing on it, I think now is a time to kind of get your ducks in the row, Dan, and try and get ahead of this thing before it gets too far.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying. I mean, obviously, and even if we get kicked out, we need to empty this place. It's not going to get done overnight. I mean, Big Al can't be just put on a flatbed and gone back to Ottawa. I mean,
No, actually, I'll come up and pick him up in my sled trailer and bring him back here.
It doesn't.
I won't drive him, I promise.
It doesn't fit in the sled trailer.
No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't.
It's too wide.
Mm-hmm.
We had to use a cube truck that just barely fit in the cube truck.
Yeah. Mark Bowe says he'll send a few emails to the politicians up there and Tourism Ontario, but he's got to run. He'll chat later.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah. Jesse Buckman says he's share on Sledcore 705, etc. And the more they email the city, the better. I agree with that, and we will. If there's a vintage where I found out about it, I'm still a member of the Vintage Snowmobile group of Ontario, and that's where I seen the article. And I was sitting on my dock, and I went, "Oh my God!" Because I've never been to Cochrane. It's on the bucket list of things to do. My buddy Dino goes, and he's the one that sent me the pictures, and he said, "Gary, you got to go." And like whenever he takes new people up there, like he'll take first time riders to Cochrane up there, and he'll be their tour guide and take them into the museum and go to see the polar bears. And they got the one polar bear taught to give you a high five, and you know, it's crazy. Jesse's going to share it, so you go ahead and share that. I will as well, and keep sharing it, reshare it, so that it's always top of mind. So I think it's too important. I mean, you know, we always talk about new snowmobiles, but it's the older ones that they're the Volkswagen Beetle of the industry, that everybody's got a story.
Yeah. So like, we wanted to start bringing in like 90s sleds, 80s and 90s for the younger crowd, the 25-year-olds
that rode those growing up.
They remember the Mach Z's and the the RXLs and those machines, and the VMAXs, the old VMAXs, and so that's our goal. Is the future is to bring in those machines. I mean, we've even talked to our dealers, if they wanted to put a brand new machine in here, they're welcome to do so, because you'll see the evolution and that's basically what we wanted to show, the evolution.
Yeah,
that would be a cool thing to have, actually, Dan. That's a great thing. Have one of the original sleds from whoever, whether it's Yamaha, Skidoo, Polaris, and then show them progressing to where the chassis is. That would be an amazing.
Well, with having Dave's race sled here, I mean that shows that a little bit.
Right, for sure.
At one time, he used to race for Skidoo, and for a little while we did have his other sled, his other race sled. It's actually one of the one of the counselors that's on our side. He owns it. New race sled, and I can't remember what year it is. I think it's a 14 or 15 Skidoo Bombardier.
Nice
race machine, obviously. So
nice.
Yeah, he took it back, but we were supposed to get it back. So, and there's a couple of Harley sleds waiting to come in, but we bring
that'll be
in,
nice.
until we know, right?
Yeah.
And one special sled, I'm going to say it before I get off here.
For sure.
We were trying to get, and we have lead on what's called a Chimo.
Okay.
It's a white with red trim little snowmobile. It's a mid-sized snowmobile, a little smaller than a Land. The thing is that our polar bear here at the when you come into town, our mascot is called
His
Chimo.
name's Chimo. That's right.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Yeah. So there is one that it's available to us. Unfortunately, we can't cross the border and go get it. It's in Muskellonge, Michigan.
Oh, wow.
But I have another one that's lined up from the other side of the Quebec City.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
I was due to pick that one up at the Sledorama show in Peterborough in November, but obviously that's going to be canceled. So
I was there last year. That's a good show too. You talk about old parts. There's a ton of. If you got old sleds, that Sledorama snowmobile show in Peterborough is really good. I walked through there last year.
Yeah,
that was
I've been going for the last 4 years, and like this is where we do RPR for our museum.
Yeah.
And our race.
No, I'm not allowed to go to those because I spend too much money.
Gary ends up buying them and then selling them.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. No, my Nordic was nice. I'm sad. And the ski boost was awesome. There's a video though, like that's the nice thing about YouTube is if I didn't have my YouTube life, I wouldn't have any history of it, right? So I can live on. I had a blast on that, so I'll get another one day. You know,
sure.
For you, it was a Nordic, and for me, it was a '72 Skidoo TNT. The only year they call them the skunk with the white stripe down the hood.
Nice.
Every time I see one, I drool, and
yeah.
I almost didn't go to college because of that. I was going to buy one. I'm going to get a job instead of going to college.
True diehard
funny.
snowmobiler, right? I'm going to get a sled or I'm going to go to school.
Yeah, and you know what? And that's it. So pricing really hasn't changed over the years, because now, like, you look at a sled's 15, 20 grand. Well, that's the same price as school. So, like Jesse Buckman, he's going to be a doctor, so he's got the best of both worlds there.
Well, I didn't become a doctor. I became a welder instead, so I did go to college. I did end up buying a 72 TNT after. I ended up buying my friend's that he decided he didn't want it anymore, his, and so I ended up buying his, and like a fool, I sold it before I got into this vintage stuff.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I searched the countryside to find it and never was able to find it.
Yeah.
You can get bit by the bug, either way, whatever you get into, right? You get bit by the bug, yeah. No, that's good.
Our local dealer here in town, he has a really nice collection of vintage snow skidoos, obviously, because he's a skidoo dealer. But he has the tin hood
tin cab
skidoo there, and he's got a few nice ones in his collection. So it's nice and his inside the showroom looks like the Skidoo Museum, you know, like the old original white building, Moto Neige, whatever. That's their service department. So he's done it. He's got a real, Dave Vincent, he's got a real heart for the classics, you know, and it shows when you go in his dealership for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Very good.
But I thank you for that, and make sure you thank you for the tour and your time today. Did you have anything to add, Dan?
No, I'm pretty well done. I mean, I appreciate any help you guys can lend us. I mean, you know, it's a labor of love, this thing here, and I'd hate to see it gone.
Yeah, for sure. Too. And it's history, Dan. Like, we've known, anyone that's in snowmobiling knows about the, you know, what you've got going on there. So hopefully we'll be able to help you out.
Yeah, I'm going to let you in on how I got hooked on snowmobiles. At 6 years old, I fell off a tin cab and broke my nose. I've been hooked ever since.
Let's do it again.
That's an awesome story. That's awesome, Dan.
That's how it started.
Yeah. Well, here, let me ask you one final question that I'm asking. I'm going to ask all the hosts now. What is your perfect snowmobile session? What is your dream snowmobile session?
My dream snowmobile session. I'm not quite sure what you mean by session.
Yeah, what would it be? Your trip or tour? You're getting together with buddies?
I don't know. I'm into racing now a lot. I'd like to go to Beau Séjour in Manitoba to watch the what is it called? Power Toboggan Championships.
Nice.
Or Eagle River. Like, I mean, I've always been an oval kind of. I mean, I don't mind doing drag racing, but like, that's why I keep my VMAX 4s for drag racing. But,
that's a sweet sled, Dan.
But the other, but yeah, I'm really an oval guy. I like oval racing.
Nice. That's awesome.
Drag's too fast. It ends too. No, it's not too fast. It just ends too quickly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Well,
make sure when you leave, you email me some email addresses and contacts that we can send our concerns to. Yeah. I will also try and grab that letter, that article, and the letter that you had posted, and I'll try and put that a link, because I can put it on the on one of my websites and just have it linked to the broadcast here, and away we go.
Okay.
But thank you again, Dan Girard, the Cochrane Classic Vintage Riders Club, and the Cochrane Vintage Snomwobile Museum. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Thanks, Dan. Take care, bud.
Bye.
You too. Yep. That was pretty cool, guys?
That was awesome, Gary. You know what? That's just as good a show as the others we done. So that's amazing, man.
I think it's as good or better.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, see a little history.
Yeah. Like you take that for granted, you know, like, and And all kidding aside, it does. Everybody's got memories of those. Like, what was your first sled, Bobby? Like, do you remember old stuff like that, or where are you at?
You know, I wish I could remember the first couple really old sleds that we rode. I think there were like some Jags and some things like that. But the first sled we actually owned was a 97 Polaris XLT. So nothing too old. But I mean, like for me, being able to see all that in a museum is the most exposure I've really gotten to it. So it's really cool to see it.
Isn't that cool that it's all in one place, eh?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what baffles me, Gary, and I know I keep going on about it. How the hell the council, how have you not sat there and sat down and said, you know how much snowmobiling brings into this locale?
Yeah.
Like,
can I tell you something? If you read the comments on when he posted that article, there's guys going, okay, everybody, we got to boycott Cochrane and not ride there this year and show them. And then someone goes, no, that's not the answer, because
Cochrane needs the people that need it, like the hotels or restaurants.
There's a so just to give you an I know, isn't that bad? And Bobby, just to give you an idea, there's a loop up there, and there's gas stop at the top. And now with E-Tech and the Polaris technology, you can make it there and probably back if you fill up. But in the old days, you could not go the full loop to come back. Haven. So halfway Haven, you had to fill up gas, and they charge you like it's $3-4 a liter. So you're talking $12 a gallon for fuel up there. And like you end up paying, your second mortgage to get a hot dog and a full tank of gas. But people buy gas from this guy because it keeps him in business. Because if he goes, guess what? There's no riding up there. Yeah. And Cochrane is cold. Like it is. You imagine the coldest days that you can think of riding, Bobby. Like it's that cold. But the trails are all pristinely groomed. And you drive high speeds at 50 kilometers an hour. You drive, to the bar at 50 kilometers an hour all day. Yeah. So it's pretty crazy. So it's sad to see. Like I've never been there. My buddy takes everybody there that go up as a first time ride. And when Dino heard about the museum issues, he was flabbergasted. Like he can't believe it either. Yeah. And this isn't something that we can just leave and go, oh, they'll probably work it out, because like Dan said, it's him. He's it.
Yeah. Like the thing is though, Gary, like, and it's not pulling politics or anything like that, but the other guys too, like the big media guys, like Snow Tracks, STV, they got to step up, man. Like yeah. I don't know, man. You need to get more people involved to make sure it doesn't happen, man. So yeah. Noble Shit said, right on. Do not penalize everyone in Cochrane. Well, yeah, it's not something you should boycott. It's support for the city, the town. It's a snowmobile culture there. On the carpet, though, man. Yeah. So, we put it in perspective, Gary. That's like trying to close down, and I know it would never happen, but I'm just putting it in perspective for the importance in Canada. That's like trying to close down the Hockey Hall of Fame, man. Like, sorry. No, seriously, or the Royal Ontario Museum, right? Like it totally is. Like you see here the comments. Like my second sled I rode was a '73 Motoski Capri. Everybody's got stories, And he started dating a girl and bought a brand new 1980 Polaris Centurion 500. It's just, I grew up on an 87 Phaser is what Daniel Foley says. Yeah. Tony Cat says, I'm only 35, but I grew up on Arctic Cats. My first sled was an 80s Kitty Cat. I just go on Jeremy Orderick. Hey, Jeremy, welcome aboard. My first sled was a 72 Arctic Cat 250. Like, here we go. We got Streeter's Garage. His first sled, a 399 TNT. Nice sled. So, you know what? I wish we were bigger. Like we. Well, maybe I'm small that we don't know, Gary. That's watching, or
I'm small change. I'm small change. Bobby's got a good following, and I'm telling you, if you're a Revrider fan, look in the comments, because I'll get Bobby to add it in. Make sure you do, because if you're a Revrider fan, you got to come up to Canada when the borders open and ride, and you got to go see this museum. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like, you know, we need your support, because my channel's not going to do it. Rich's channel's not going to do it. You know, because we're small change. And I mean, I seen the name Louis Skibo from Power Mods. There's a good guy to get involved, because he's got a good following. He loves the vintage stuff for sure.
And he's involved in the Snowmobile show every year. Like, he's got a lot of followers.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, and that's the thing. Someone said they're going to get, I think it was Adventures This Way or Sometime Is Now was going to talk to him about it. Absolutely. And if you're talking to him, make sure you have him. Louis knows of me too. Louis can email me and even we can chat and get him on here too. And maybe we can send him a couple of subscribers, because he needs them. But that's the thing. He's vintage sleds are in that guy's heart, so he's a good one to be on board. But I get what Dan's saying. Like, the snow tracks they got to watch their politics and where their advertising are. Like, if Polaris is putting money in their pockets, they don't want to support a skidoo museum. You know what I mean? Like,
there's a lot more to it, Gary. And you know what?
Totally.
You got to put politics aside, though, buddy. This is for the better of snowmobiling in general, right?
True. So, you're preaching to the choir here, buddy. Like, it's sad. Like, I can't believe there's not it'd be different if you could say, hey, we're gonna go here if it falls through. He doesn't even have a fallback. Like, a plan B is not even an option, because to do that would be so expensive. And again, town's going, hey, we're keeping the bears. You guys are gone. Well, the bears were there because of the skidoos the snowmobiles were there. So there you go.
What blows me away, and I guess it is what it is. I mean, there's obviously other things than just snowmobiling, but how does your mayor and one of the main councilors get in there and not even enjoy the main source of income that comes into that town?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I think if they're new to the sport, if they're new to the area, they're going to have to. You know what I mean? Like, how do you not? What do you hate winter for? And they've got winter for 3 months, right?
Oh, at least, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
for sure. That's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Hey, listen, I got a bit of news here. I was pulling up here. I don't know if you heard this, but where did it go? Police investigating in Woodstock. Did you hear about this, Gary?
No.
A load of brand new skidoo stolen in Woodstock.
I actually saw something on that as well. That's pretty scary.
That's crazy, man.
Move the truck now.
Can you imagine? Like, obviously, I don't want to say who it is, but I mean, obviously, it was from a skidoo dealer in the Woodstock area. But so the sleds were stolen between 11 a.m. Saturday and 1 p.m. Sunday. That's a huge time window, man.
Holy, yeah, but that's daylight.
Yeah,
that's daylight. Wow,
like, insane, man. So anyone keeping an eye out, you see someone trying to sell you a 2021 skidoo or 2020.
Yeah,
you can't get away from that. You couldn't even park that stuff out.
Hey, Gary, where'd you get the 850 E-Tech in that 2009? I don't know.
That is the thing, though. Any new parts on them, you go to part them out, like our Motion X stuff. I mean, it's going to be like, if you got a bunch of those parts, where'd you get them?
Well,
yeah, exactly.
They're all encoded now. All the computer stuff. Yeah. You can't use the computer. You can't use anything.
Yeah.
But I guess you could probably sell enough to make the parts. You know, a seat. This like the parts that aren't traceable. I guess you could probably tear apart.
For sure.
Yeah. So I think Jesse's going to take me up to Cochrane over Christmas. He said.
Awesome.
Yeah. So. He said I should come to him.
I'll be going as well too. So just remember that.
Yeah. So I don't know. Financially, it's not in the books this year, I don't think. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see what happens. So maybe we could do a fundraiser for me to save the museum. How's that?
To go up there.
Actually, yeah. So go down in the link below, buy me a round, or give me a donation for any amount, and let's see if we can get me up to save the polar bears. Come on, do it for the bears, guys.
Well,
do it for the bears.
Let's hope next year. This year's probably pushing it, but hopefully by next winter we can get the borders up and we can get Bobby and a bunch of his guys up and his dad, and we could do a hell of a ride up north, man, or going to Quebec like that. How awesome would that be, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, for sure.
So, actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind going down there too, man. I got to go down.
But Bobby, your dad must have some cool sledding stories. Like, or is he new to the sport?
Yeah, actually, he started when I started. So when I was like 10 years old, we both just picked it up and have been going ever since. But yeah, before that, he had really never been on them. He was a skier, actually.
Oh, really? Eh? Yeah.
Bobby, what made you guys get into it? Like, did you say to him, Dad, we got to get into sledding? Like, yeah.
Our neighbor had a 95 XLT, and every time he took it out, I ran to the window to watch him drive down the street. And my dad saw how much I loved it, so he started looking for a sled, and then eventually we got our 97 XLT.
That's awesome, buddy.
Yeah.
See there's a story right there, right?
Yep.
And then you'll never give it up, Bobby. And you'll get your kids into it, man. Like,
absolutely.
It's the same as me, man. My brother-in-law got me in the first time I was riding.
And you'll tell your kids about the Fox Q3. Oh, what a crappy suspension that was when they're all on the hovercrafts. You know, what we had skis. Yeah, you had 2 skis in the front. Now we have 4. 4 skis. You imagine they rode without 4 skis on the front. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, and the skis were metal. And I mean,
I remember ski skins and stuff. It's a funny time.
That's it. Well, not only that, Bob, you remember too when the rear suspensions were like park benches.
Yeah.
I remember coming back at the end of a day, on a Saturday or Sunday when the trails were washed out, and I mean, back then that's that lean back style where you stand up on it because the bars were too short down low.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you literally had to go to the chiropractor on Monday.
Yeah, for sure.
But it seems we lost Gary there too.
Yeah.
But so he was mentioning that there's another. He was saying there's another snowmobile museum in where did he say?
He's back.
I'm back. Battery died. What happened here?
I don't know. We were just talking.
You're talking about the one in Michigan, Rich? Is that what he was saying? Yeah. I think I've seen it. I haven't been to it, but I've seen they have some race sleds, I believe. Like they have
Gary, no more beers for you, bud.
Hey, stop it. There we go.
I think they have
God, you guys are even uglier this close.
There we go.
I think they have like Blair Morgan's race sled or like Ross Martin's that I've seen some pictures, and I've actually reposted a couple on my Instagram. So it looks like a really good one too.
Nice. Yeah. Well,
Old Forge. Vector Echo says Old Forge is amazing.
That's why I ride there all the time.
Is it?
I enjoy it. Yeah. It definitely has the most grooming compared to most of New York State. They have 24-hour grooming in Old Forge. So.
How many miles of trails are in the Old Forge, Bobby? Like, educated guess.
That's a great question. I wish I knew. I honestly, I couldn't even venture to guess.
Yeah.
Somebody told
it down there, Bobby. Like, obviously, I'm not going to cross the border now, but
yeah.
But when
you know what? We can go when it freezes. We can just cross the ice.
There you go.
Yeah. No, I heard I heard though it's just one big loop.
Old Forge.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Old Forge, if you stick to the inner trails, you do end up doing a lot of circles, but you can get to a lot of different places. I would say the biggest negative is sometimes getting out of Old Forge is like roads or railroad tracks. So those can be really bad depending on the time of year. But yeah, if you head over to like Tug Hill, you can ride forever.
Yeah. Where that last video you had with Bobby just did a video with his gear review. Where was that? Was that Old Forge?
That was Old Forge. Yeah, we pretty much just stuck to the inner trails because I had my girlfriend with me and the guy we were riding with had his. So we just kind of hit a lot of different stops, right through the center of town. There's a lot of different restaurants and we were able to kind of like see some sights and all that. So it's really good for like destinations. If you want to hit a lot of destinations, Old Forge is great. Yeah,
like that's the thing. The trails look really good that day.
Yeah.
Like you know, it was beautiful. I think you said it was a little thin snow-wise, but I didn't get that. There was one part where you seen it was, but when you're in the bush, it looked good.
Yeah, the trails were great. It was just on the lake, we had gotten like 1.5 feet of snow, and it must have blown to the edges of the lake, so I wasn't seeing it. I was expecting to get on the lake and have all sorts of powder, but, you know, trail-wise, it was spot on.
Now, is Indian Lake there? Indian Lake's a good ride, Tony says.
Yep. So Indian Lake, it's like one of the longer rides you can do in Old Forge without having to like hit a lot of roads or anything. You go up to Moose River Plains, then you can head to Indian Lake. My dad and I did it back in the day, and pretty nearly ran out of gas on some older sleds. So luckily, that's not as much of a problem anymore.
Yeah. Steve Jones, is that Rich's buddy?
Yeah, that's my good buddy.
Yeah. Cheers, Steve.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard. He says, good show, guys. Question for Bobby. Have you heard any more about the New York State government holding back funds for the snowmobile trails?
So I'm not sure to what extent he heard. There was obviously a lot of like outrage over it being pretty much like said that it was official, it was going to happen. I don't think anything has been officially announced. Like there isn't like an actual word from government that that's going to happen. So we're just kind of waiting in the meantime to see what comes of it, but nothing official yet. But for anybody that doesn't know, they're supposed to hold 20% of our registration money and send that to state parks, which really has nothing to do with snowmobiling. So it's kind of taking the money and sending it to state parks.
Another obviously government
cash grab.
Yeah.
There are actually state parks that won't allow snowmobile trails even anywhere near them up towards Old Forge. So, I mean, it's almost like the opposite direction. They're kind of hurting us and we're giving them money. So,
yeah. Now, Vector Echo, is this true? This is really important to answer. Dacres has the best fries. Not going to lie.
Pretty great. Yeah. Probably best in Old Forge.
What has he got there? That looks like a riot, I believe. Hey, Bobby.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, nice.
Totally.
You've got a riot. Nice one, bud.
Yeah. You know the riot though, like when I watch your video, that blue windshield on the green is dynamite. I know.
I really like it.
Yeah.
That color combination, I'm sorry guys, I've always been like that Arctic Cat green and blue. That color they did it's up there with your sled color there, Bobby. That line squeeze is nice, man, but that Arctic Cat green and blue, it looks good. They did it.
Yeah. And the decals and everything are really
right?
Yeah.
Were you saying something, Rich?
Oh, sorry. The new ride.
No, he was
orange this year, right?
Yeah, they have like an orange and gray and blue, and then just a gray, green, and blue. Actually, it might not have any blue on it. It might just be gray and green.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. It's a nice variation, though, because there were a lot of lime sleds coming out the last couple of years, so to mix some blue in, kind of give it its own look.
They also have a Snowmobile Hall of Fame in St. Germain, Wisconsin.
You know, that might be the one I was talking about with the race sleds, the one in St. Germain. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. There's some arguments going on in
heated feelings about what's going on in New York.
Yeah.
It's amazing, when the stuff gets heated in between, like for snowmobile trails and whatnot, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
The Vector Echo's dad's getting a new orange Riot, and it's actually really nice.
Beautiful. Yeah, I love that. If I was getting one this year, I would have got the orange.
Yeah. Are the cats starting to ship now? They must be all starting to ship now.
I've seen quite a few people already have theirs. I had the Riot this time last year. I think I got it like September 15th. I got it pretty early.
You heard about that foolish lawsuit between Bombardier and Cat, eh?
I did, yeah. That's
apparently there's no cats coming up to Canada yet. They still have
no, they can't sell them in Canada. No, but the Yamaha, which is this really the same thing, is available. Yeah, it's sad. Like the Arctic Cat has a following here in Canada. It's sad to see that they're not going to have any new sleds. But we'll see.
You have to imagine that it's because BRP wants something from Arctic Cat. What do you guys think they want from them?
They want money. What they come up with the dollar value, Gary? What was it?
No,
$25.
Well, no, it's not. I think what Bobby's getting at is the suspension.
Yeah, like either the Alpha Rail or something like that.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like this started years ago. Yeah. Like this started in 2003, and it is a ripoff of the pyramidal design. Mm-hmm. But I don't know why maybe it took that long for courts to fight it. Right?
Could be. Yeah.
So, here sometimes now says, if you want to venture away from Old Forge, you can ride with me way up north around Owl's Head, Malone area, north of Lake Clear. And he's just the other side of the border, so he comes across all the time. Sometime is now. He's one of my big fans, but you should hook up with him. He's got a YouTube channel. I don't know that he's got a lot on it, but hook up with him as well on that. Absolutely. And he's a good guy. He's in my fan featured video there. You've probably seen him.
Yep, that's awesome.
Noble Shot says, I'm absolutely sad to see Arctic Cat being penalized unnecessarily. Yep. I think it went too far. I mean, you got the point out. As long as they're not making them today under that same thing, but I think everybody's tweaked their own. And I mean, that's the thing.
Steve has a good point with the Tiger Shark back in the day. They won $50 million in the watercraft, right?
Yeah.
So it's one of those. I'll remember that,
Yeah, so, true.
But
yeah,
we all know who won that war. I mean, there's nobody left other than Yamaha and
and
Kawasaki makes the jet ski, right? So,
yeah. Are you a hunter, Bobby? Don Chu says, have you heard anything about the extended weed hunting?
I've heard that they might extend it, but that's pretty much the extent of what I've heard. It's a shame because, I know around like where I actually live, we do occasionally get a little bit of early snow, and because of hunting season, you absolutely can't take advantage of it. And around here, it's almost the end of December before the trails open, whereas in Old Forge, it's kind of like between the 10th and 15th that they open. So,
yeah. Bruce Stewart, he was the one that I featured. He said, Bobby, what do you think about the MX ZXRS with the R-Motion X skid, skis and A-arms? He said, he says down here, you rode one for the demo in Old Forge, right?
Yep. So I rode the 2020.5. So it had the 5.7 ski on it. It didn't have the new Pilot X ski yet. And honestly, I expected to get on it and really not be super impressed. It's probably like one of my shortcomings with the videos. Like sometimes I'm not as excited as I should be, but I was so just blown away. For so long, I felt like the G4s could kind of be a little heavy on the front skis. And it really feels like it's using the front and the rear suspension to like the fullest extent. Absolutely blew my mind. Handles really flat in the corners. And honestly makes the Pilot 5.7 feel like a much stronger ski than I had felt in the past. I really thought it handled well on that sled.
Now, do you think it's like what Jesse said in his video that it handles like a Polaris?
So this is, I guess, going to be a little bit of a hot button topic, but I think the Polaris is lift an inside ski too much, to be honest. So I guess from that perspective, I thought it handled better. I don't really like inside ski lift as far as like if we're talking the best possible on-trail handling. I kind of think it's something that should be like tuned out of the sled. But obviously when you get to the crossovers, there's a little bit of kind of leeway. You want a little bit more of that playful feel so that when you get off trail, you can, have a little bit more fun on it.
Yeah. Polaris Assault 800 says, Bobby, when are we going to find out what you're riding this winter?
Hopefully October,
Nice.
A lot of me wants to give it away, but we're so close that hopefully just a couple more weeks and it'll be out.
Yeah. That's why I shut Richard's camera off.
Smart, yeah. We don't want to do that again.
Episode 3. There, Polaris Assault 800, episode 3. Jeremy says the single rail systems look like it would be amazing for snowmobiling in general. Have you ever rode that, Bobby? I mean, you've rode a lot of sleds.
Yeah, I rode the Alpha or the Riot X last season and was really pretty impressed by it. They have a sway bar on it, so it still handles relatively flat. It doesn't feel like it's rolling over in the corners. So on trail wise, it didn't feel like any sort of like real negative to it. But I haven't been off trail with it. That's the one thing that sucks about those demos for a crossover. You really can't go off trail, so it's just on trail. But on trail wasn't much of a detriment. So
you'd think you'd feel it, eh? You think it would be. You think it wouldn't be as flat or something, right? Like
so on the Blast M, it also had the Alpha rail and it didn't have a sway bar. You really feel it on that sled. So I think the sway bar just kind of helps clean it up a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a little bit of body roll, but like with one rail, you'd expect it to be like a drag car. You know what I mean? Just like wobbling back and forth, and it's not like that.
That system setup must be unreal for side hilling though in the mountains.
Oh yeah.
You just think about it geometry wise, like. That thing must be like, I think Arctic Cat did hit a home run with that thing. And I want to talk to someone. Well, too bad we can't.
But did you see the video that someone posted with the Arctic Cat had that big tight corner, like they had a drone shot. They had a drone shot and they had a tight corner in the snow, and then somebody did it with a Skidoo Summit and had it really tighter. Right? Everyone's topping each other. Wardo Outdoors says, my Skidoo XP isn't very tippy. You know why? Because your Skidoo XP is awesome. That's an awesome chassis. I'm all over Skidoo XP. Love it. I got a soft spot for those. That's a good chassis for sure. Here's one
who rode the that monorail, the Arctic Cat rear out. I know Six has had one there because he worked at a cat dealer, right? And he ended up banging it. Did you guys see that?
They broke it. They broke it, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
And broke it. I mean, I guess you can do anything to any sled, right? But I'd like to know what that's really like to talk to someone, because I haven't really known anyone that rides the mountains. And I know Yamaha now has that, right? For the Mountain Max. They brought the Mountain Max back in that. So
yeah.
See how that works.
The thing is, if you break one rail on your sled, you've got one to get home on, right?
Yeah.
Like
True.
Vector Echo says, Bobby, what's your favorite sled you've ever rode?
That's a tough question. I guess as of right now, I have to say the Assault 850. When I said in one of my videos, when I sold my Assault 800, I was almost like kind of disappointed to get rid of it because I didn't think I could ever like a sled more. And the 850, just the power, like something as simple as the color combos, stuff like that, and just the riding experience. It's a pretty fun sled. It's a little bit too much for certain people, like my dad. It's too much work for him. But as of right now, that's probably my favorite sled. We'll see what I'm riding this season. We'll see if that changes. Yeah. But,
I can't wait to ride Rich's. Like in your video, I love how you're going and it goes.
Heck yeah.
Like that's like you. I think you had said it unbridled, or maybe I threw that name at you, but I said it in the one video that you were comparing Skidoo to Polaris last year, and you said that the Skidoo is linear, where the Polaris is more unbridled power. Like it's like,
it comes out very hard.
I'm telling you, on the lakes, buddy, that thing, you crack on that thing, man. And I know it's old school because it's uncoupled, but I mean, you get the power to the track. It's awesome. Like I Bobby, I may get tired of it. Like I may go back to a trail sled. You know what I mean? After this Assault, but I mean, who knows? But I'm telling you, that's the one thing that I love about the Assault. I love coming out of the corners and the skis come up. When you get on it, wherever you get on the lake, you crack it, and that front end comes up, man. And the skis barely touch when you're cranking on it.
What's the Assault, like an XRS? Like, is that, if you're talking like I know all of the Skidoo line. Like, I don't know a lot about Polaris, but here Assault and Matrix and all that. Is the Assault an XRS?
So it doesn't pound for pound really have a match in the Skidoo line. The closest you could probably say is like the Backcountry, because they both have uncoupled skids that are somewhat based off trail geometry. So that's similar, but the Backcountry has a mountain front end. So I think the widest it goes is 40 or 41 inches. I can't remember.
Yeah, because it's adjustable, right? Yeah.
It makes a huge difference trail riding, though, Gary. That's the thing.
Yeah.
The guys at Snow Track said the Assault is the Swiss Army knife of snowmobile. Like, the thing is unreal. It's the best on trails and amazing for off trails too, right? Like I think they literally, again, I'm going to say this out there, it's the Jeep of snowmobiles. Would that be fair to say, Bobby?
That's a bad comparison.
I'm talking about versatility though, man. You want to talk about those awesome off road, or I guess maybe the Swiss Army knife is the better analogy. But it's a great sled, man.
Yeah,
I agree with Tony here. It's good to see Yamaha back in the two-stroke game. Yamaha has kind of taken. I mean, the Sidewinder is awesome. You can't deny that. But that's really, to me, looking in from the outside, that's the only thing you hear. That's the only buzz you hear from Yamaha. And Yamaha, to me, like having the Exciter back in the day, and the Phaser was way ahead of its time. And there was one in the museum video there, and as soon as I seen it, I went, man, that's a cool looking sled today. you know.
Yeah.
And there is a phaser exciter, a newer one with the separate windshield, and I went, you know, that's you know, I hope Yamaha comes back just swinging, you know, just swinging.
Well,
because they always rode really good. They've got the chassis and the clutches dialed now. It's incredible.
They were the first manufacturer bringing oil injection. Remember that, right? No one remembers that.
Yeah.
Yamaha was the first
for sure.
Pre-mixer. I think they will, but I think you got a good. I think it was a great move, Yamaha moving the snowmobile division up to Canada out of the U.S.
Yeah.
No knocking on the guys in the U.S., but I think that was a smart move in that you know, front and then getting into bed with Cat, I think was a smart move for both of them. And I know Peter Smallman too, the president of Yamaha Canada, was a big part of that, and it helped them. I think you're going to be seeing a lot of good stuff come out of them. I think between the two of them, they've got a lot of good engineers and whatnot coming out. I think you probably might see a new chassis or something that'll probably surprise everybody.
So,
you know, so
that's
just a guess.
Hey, listen, we've been going for 2 hours. I think we should, and this has been a great show again. So I thank you, Bobby. I thank you, Rich. It's awesome. We got 7 in the bag. We got 8 coming up. It's gonna be great. And yeah. So anything else to add? I think again, everybody. Make sure that you read the description. So in the video here, there'll be an arrow on the bottom right. There'll be the title, and you'll see a little down arrow. Click that, and it expands the description. And in the description, we will put the email addresses to the Cochrane contacts, the mayor and anyone else. And make sure you email them, tell them that you want to keep that museum there in that location and keep it open. And that's key. It's got to be in that location, and show your support, guys, because it's so important right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And I know, a lot of my followers are from the U.S., but stuff like this in the snowmobile community is big for everybody. It's like I said, for me, it's cool to see a past in snowmobiling that I didn't get firsthand experience with. So, if you guys have the time, definitely send an email, do whatever you can. It's a big thing to save.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. And Rich, any parting words?
No, I think we're good. That was a great show. That was another good time. It was,
thank you, guys. I'm just going to run the outro, but thank you everybody in the chat. That was another active chat tonight. It looks like we grew in numbers again. So thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and we love all you guys, every one of you. Cheers.
It's a journey for